And action. Hey, folks, Jason, back here again. Apple event just ended about an hour ago or so, and instead of doing one long video about everything that happened and kind of just skimming over all the stuff, I'm doing three different videos about the three major areas where they changed things or where new products were announced. And this video is about the iPhone 16 and iPhone 16, the Pro models. I'm going to combine the two because while there are significant differences between the two, I think that a lot of the features for once are kind of the same. And so I'll delineate the differences as I go. But I do want to talk about both of them together because I think it's somewhat important. Apple, once again, is touting their Apple Intelligence, which you can get iOS 18 with some Apple Intelligence features right now. More are going to be released soon. But they talked about Apple Intelligence a lot, and Apple Intelligence really seemed to be the driving force behind a lot of the improvements. And it really came out in the iPhone 16 models. So there's the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Plus, 6.1 and 6. They're both, so I think 6.1 and 6.7 inches is what they are now, which is what they've been in the past. They now have the action button that came with the Pro models last time, and they now have this camera control button on there. Let me pull this up. So they now have the camera control button, and you can see that right here. And this is a multifunction button that will change all kinds of different settings in your camera. On a double tap, you can get to different things like zoom or anything like that. But it also gives you the opportunity it's a shutter button, etc., etc. So it has that, and it now has the A18 chip. Now, in years past, the iPhone non-Pro models have always had the chip that was from the previous year. That's been the case since, I think, the iPhone 13 or 14. I can't remember exactly which, but it always had the previous year's chip inside, which wasn't not a bad thing because it does plenty of stuff. They're very powerful chips. But now, because of Apple Intelligence and the things that Apple Intelligence is going to bring to the table, I guess they needed to upgrade the iPhone 16 to the newest, most current generation chip. So that's the A18 chip. And it's a 3 nanometer chip. So 3 nanometer is cutting edge at this point. It's a 5-core GPU. It's very, very, I think 6-core or so neural engine, et cetera, et cetera. Very, very fast chip. And that will give you the opportunity to do the Apple Intelligence things that you can't do on, the previous iPhone non-Pro models. So now you can do that. There were a lot of things that they talked about, and they talked a lot about Apple Intelligence features like contextual search. So you can go to you can go to photos and you can ask SIRI to look for photos containing a person or a place or a thing, and you can do that across the OS. As a matter of fact, if you can't find something that was in your email, or maybe it came to you in a text, or maybe it came somewhere, you can then ask to find whatever that is. And Apple Intelligence will allow the phone to find that. So this is contextual search, I guess, is what I'm calling it. They talked a lot about the personal context that the phone will take on. It will be more personal to you as you use it. It's going to be in beta next month, and then there's also visual intelligence, which will give you all kinds of interest. Like basically you can walk around, take a picture of the restaurant, and it will bring up the menu, or it'll bring up information, or you're outside and you want to, they showed taking a picture of someone's dog, which seemed kind of awkward to me, but taking a picture of someone's dog and then it gives you the breed of the dog. However, in that instance, I would just ask the person, what's the dog breed? But you get the point. It will also allow you to take a picture of a flyer for a show or something like that and create an event on your calendar for that to happen. There's lots of things that it'll do. It'll also allow you to use third-party tools like Google and ChatGPT in context with the rest of Apple Intelligence. So very, very cool stuff. The cameras on the iPhone 16, both models are pretty impressive as well. 48 megapixel main camera. Let's see. It's got a computational fusion, 48 megapixel fusion camera where it takes like two different images and smashes them together. Spatial capture, which I guess would be good for doing things on, Apple Vision Pro or other contexts where that's usable. Then for the microphones, it actually has, and then for microphones, there's the ability to, in real time, block out wind noise, whether you're on a call or you're doing a video or something like that, and you're in a windy environment. It will, in real time, filter the wind noise, which is pretty cool. It has a bigger battery, so better battery life for both models. They didn't give any time, like a number of hours or minutes or whatever in comparison to other things, but a bigger battery. Overall, I mean, I wrote in my notes here, iPhone 16, much more powerful. In the past, the models of iPhone that were not Pro models were not like sort of hobbled models of the iPhone, but they just were not quite as fancy as the Pro models inside and out. And now there's a lot more parity. You still only have 2 camera lenses as opposed to 3, but you do get all the Apple Intelligence features that are there. And that makes the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus a much better buy because the prices didn't change. Starts at, I think, $699 and goes up from there based on, which model and what storage you buy. They're available for pre-order starting this Friday, but I don't want to get too deep into that until we get to the iPhone 16 Pro models, which now are larger. As I said, it used to be the Pro and the regular iPhone were 6.1 inches like this. And now the Pro models are a little bit bigger, 6.3 and 6.9 instead of 6.1 and 6.7. Also with the 16, you've got AAA games with hardware accelerated ray tracing, not software accelerated. You've got macro camera stuff going on. You've got satellite messaging is coming. The action button is there, as I said. And then the colors are black, white, pink. They call it ultramarine and a blue. So that's a good color combo. Moving on to the iPhone 16 Pro models, there's a decent amount to talk about here. And some of these features are not going to matter to you. Some of these features are going to matter a lot to people. So let's just take a quick look at the features. Here we still have the camera control button doing the same things. 5 times zoom on telephoto on both models. I believe in the past only the Pro model had the most zoom capability. Wi-Fi 7, which, I mean, there are barely any Wi-Fi 7 routers out there. So Wi-Fi 7 it's good for future proofing, but it's not a big deal right now. They've improved the ceramic shielding on the device. Now, I just made a video about how I have not used a case on my iPhone all year, other than a few times. And my iPhone is in really, really nice shape. But they've improved the ceramic coating that they use on the iPhone to make it even more durable, which makes me happy. I was surprised how passionate people were about using a case when I got to the comments of my video. But the need for a case, I guess, is user choice. I just like the fact that not using it with the case is not a guaranteed death sentence for the phone. And so that to me is a good thing. We've also, you can do spatial video, 2 times faster ray tracing. The chip on this thing is the A18 Pro. The A18 Pro is also 3 nanometer. It's also super beefed up in the GPU and the neural engine cores, which I think I might have, 16 core neural engine, 6 core GPU, 2 times faster ray tracing, which is faster than what we saw on the iPhone 16. It also comes with, and this is a big deal if you're a content creator or you do things like that. It also comes with dedicated media encoders. On the M series chips, they introduced these media encoders that'll allow you to sort of offload that onto its own encoder and do that right there, which if you're using Final Cut or something like that, it works really well. So now this is on the phone. They didn't make a big deal about it, but I just noticed it as I was watching that now with these dedicated media encoders, you're going to be able to do more with the phone than you were able to before. They also introduced with the camera the ability to film in 4K 120 frames per second and with Dolby Vision. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. They call it cinematic 4K or something like that. But it gives you an opportunity if you're using your iPhone as a dedicated video camera. I made a video recently about using your iPhone as a dedicated video camera for stuff that's over and above just taking family videos. I'll link that down in the description. But now you can do slow motion. Slow motion is just another way to enhance the cinematicness of your videos. So if you're somebody who wants to use the iPhone in a pro setting, you now have more tools, which is great. And they are also using Apple Intelligence with photo styling and video styling. So you can basically apply LUTs and color correction in real time with the iPhone 16 Pro. They also talked about how they now have 4 studio quality mics. And I'm a musician. I was really bummed out when they took away Music Memo, which was a way to sort of identify, you could identify the chords that you were playing. It was a great notepad for taking down demos and having the chords there and everything else. Well, now they've added more music-centric features to Voice Memo, and using these studio quality mics and Apple Intelligence, they're able to do some more things. Like in Voice Memo, you can now record a musical part and then overdub another part, a vocal or something like that, using these 4 studio quality mics. You can also, in video, use these mics directionally, either have everything centered and the background sort of pushed to the back, or there are a few different ways that you can do it, but it allows you to have more control over what the mics capture. And again, this is all based on, I assume, Apple Intelligence and what it's able to do for your video. So again, from a pro standpoint, since these are the pro phones, these are very pro features. And so I'm really glad that they're there. Pricing remains the same as it was before. $9.99 for the smaller model and $11.99 for the larger model. They have a black, which I'm glad of. There was no black last year. They have a white or a silver, whatever you want to call it, and they have natural, which is what I have here. I don't know if it will look any different than this. And they've added a desert color, they're calling it. It's sort of bronzy. I'm anxious to see what it looks like in person because I'd seen some renders where it was darker, and I like that. But this doesn't seem as dark as what the renders showed. So I kind of want to see what it's all about. And I imagine I'll get the black. Unless you guys really want me to get the desert color or something else. You can let me know in the comments down below. No, in recent years, it seemed like the updates to the iPhone and every other phone out there have been very incremental. And this year it feels similar. No great strides forward. It's bigger. Got a bigger battery. Best iPhone battery life on Pro Max. So best, of course, the Pro Max is going to have the best battery life, but that's what it is. But I am excited for some of these new changes that are coming with Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence is very intriguing. We're already able to see what Google and Samsung are able to do with Google Gemini. And I'm excited to see what Apple Intelligence is able to do once all the features that they're planning get rolled out. We haven't seen that yet. But there's a lot of potential for really changing the way that you use your phone in a very personal context, in addition to some of these other pro features that have been introduced on these pro models. It seems like a worthy upgrade. But you'll let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this something that are you seeing something that you want to upgrade to here with the new iPhone models, the iPhone 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max? Let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in the next video. Go check out the other videos about the Apple event. here's the card. Here's the card. The card is. Anyway, until the next time, I'm out.